My little burgers, you right? Right. Well, yesterday was my birthday, so me, Lizzie, we went out for a lovely day. Obviously, it was hot, but where we went to watch film. So we went and watched Disclosure Day. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen it, so spoiler alerts if you haven't, switch off. Right? Just in case I say something. Don't mean to, but I will be talking about it a little bit. But generally, we went to a place, we went in the cinema, lovely and cool. So, for any stroke survivors, for anyone with brain injury, the heat can be quite devastating from the heat exhaustion, which adds to the fatigue that kicks in, which can be really draining emotionally, mentally, physically. So this one was just we went there just to stay inside, stay cool. We watched the film, obviously, but I'll critique it a little bit later. And we went from there. We went to a restaurant, another place that air conditioned. So we was actually in places that worked very well for us, which was really good, which we needed. So it was nice to spend a day with Lizzie. The boys were at school. Um, so we went and watched the film. So coming to the film, I don't know if any of you are into UFOs, UAPs, etc., etc. But I watch people like Jesse Michels, um, What Lurks Beneath, Why Files, etc., etc., which I find fascinating. It intrigues me, yeah. Um, but now that I've got a bit of time on my hand, because obviously I can't drive, can't work like that because of the fatigue and other bits. Um, it's given me more time to spend listening and watching to other things. Now, I think the autistic or the ADHD side of me is kicking in because we piece together information from all different avenues where we listen to it. So, obviously, I've told you I'm on a spiritual journey, so I've been listening to the Bible a bit more, reading into certain things. I've been watching near-death experiences, been channelers, etc. Lots more. Right, so it's not just certain things. But it intrigued me with Jesse Michael's show he done yesterday, and he was talking about all the UFO Disclosure Day and how Spielberg knows more, etc., etc. But there's little snippets of information in there as well that sort of stand out as well. So certain people that were he was talking about that were family members of Jeff Bezos and others, and there's all these links like Emmett Brown link. So looking at Back to the Future, anyone knows Emmett Brown is the professor in there, yeah, the Michael J. Fox goes to, and like Marty McFly. Um, but there's a lot of connections that Jesse's made within this one that he done, which is fascinating and is intriguing. But then there's the other connections that aren't quite self-explanatory. So the connections with Jeff Bezos, the family member of that. But to understand that Amazon and many other large corporation businesses are heavily owned partially by the Vanguard and um, or BlackRock. That's it. I can't remember. I was going Rockabilly then. I don't know. I was going to say that, but BlackRock and things like this. They own a lot of Amazon. Now, when you look at these businesses, these structured tiers of what they do and who they own, why they own it, it's all money orientated. They own it for money's sake. But I looked at this Disclosure Day a little bit differently. I wasn't necessarily looking at it from the point of view of ufology. I was looking at it a little bit differently because of the spiritual journey I'm on. I was just looking at it and then watching it, how it goes, how it plays out. But there's a heavy influence of Christianity within it. Someone not quite losing their whole faith, just lost their way on their path. But there was lots of things in there that they spoke about, like empathy, and how we're the supreme beings on earth, right? they're trying to reference the Bible. There is some reference to that in Genesis and that, um, but it's quite weird how it was put. Now, if you look in the likes of Revelations, Genesis, and all this, and certain other aspects, there are many things in there that talk about being deceived, and at the end times, there is be careful who you listen to and what you take in, and make sure you're not deceived by them. And the end statement within the film was listen, but a very subconscious way of putting a word in there to listen to what they're saying. You know, they're trying to sell you the fact that these are aliens. Yeah, why? Why do they have to be aliens? Why couldn't they be demons? Why couldn't they be something else? Another aspect is that they're from a different dimension. Well, couldn't that be the demons? Couldn't that be them acting like they're from a different like level, spiritual level? So they could be the fourth dimension because they've been cast out of the true dimension. I'm just saying these are only thoughts and opinions, they're not facts or anything, so look it up. But watching it and listening to it, you sort of see it's almost the psyop. They're trying to make you believe certain things. But then with the spiritual guidance, with the spiritual things in there as well, you can cross-reference and you can see that they're trying to con us and maybe distract us. Yeah. And try and get you to believe something that's not factual, not real. And obviously the greatest deceiver of them all was Satan. And this is why there's certain people that don't like the Islamic teachings, because obviously in the Quran he says he's the greatest deceiver of them all. Well, that's Satan, according to their book. That's the greatest deceiver, and Satan in the Christian Bible. So there's lots of references from different aspects where they sort of mix and match and cross over. So it's quite weird, like, to me. And watching the film, it seemed like they're trying to sell us that story. But I think it has more tales about like Christianity in there as well, more than what people have picked up on. Because they were talking about we can become a greater person, or not even person, an entity, a supreme being, by opening up and using what we have, what is given to us, our God-given powers, and use this empathy that we could have. Now, empathy, not blind empathy, but empathy towards our human beings. Every person on the planet should have empathy towards other people. Now, if you're from a culture that doesn't agree with that, you are following the wrong path, should we say. Because at no point should you want any of your fellow man, woman to go through pain, anxiety. That's not right. But using empathy the right way can open us up to be supreme beings, I believe. And even in the Bible and other things, if you follow the way it's teaching, it's about opening up spiritually to the world and being kind to all animals and humans. And that kindness, it's just a good message. Now, for all those agnostics or atheists that don't believe in Jesus Christ, that's fine. You don't have to believe. However, if you just believe that he was a human being, which we know is fact, he was around. It's all logged. And he was a real person. He was a rabbi. He was a real person. But if he was teaching just love, kindness, grace, isn't that the sort of teaching you want to pass on to your family, friends? Like, because it teaches us to be good people. Yeah, how to be kind, how to be loving, how to forget certain things, turn the other cheek. Yeah, how to be a good person. Now, if that was just from a human, that's the type of human I want to follow. Yeah, and it seemed to me in this movie that there was lots of references to that. Yeah, and the true kindness and grace and empathy was there to try and help us. I think it was a message more deeper than what people have looked at. It may be a lot deeper. Yeah, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Now, everybody believes it's all about aliens. Perhaps the Lord's not doing that. Perhaps He's trying to teach us something else. I don't know. All right, but look at it differently with different eyes. But when you start factoring other things from other pathways, other teachers, yeah, there's very similar. There's lots of similarities from different religions, different people, different channelers, or um, psychics or mediums, etc. But they all talk very similar about certain things, and they coincide with what the Bible teaches. Now, if that's the case, then I'll happily follow it. Yeah, because let's be kind to each other, kind to each person, and this is all I want for everyone that's suffering in the world. It's like I've got no real intention to make anything about me. I don't care about me. But what I do care about is that everyone is treated nicely, kindly. It's difficult at times. We all travel that path. It's really hard to be kind to people at times where you get het up, angry. And in this heat, it happens a lot more because we do get like angry during the heat. We can't cope with it. Um, but yeah, look at the film, watch it, see what you think. Now, I think there's a bigger message in it. Yeah, it's not just about aliens, but if it is, we need to be careful with the message we're receiving because I don't think it's all what it's cracked up to be. Yeah, if all these governments are telling us this is happening, do you trust these governments? Because they don't trust us. So why should we trust them? Yeah, they want a digital ID us. They want to track us at every moment, every turn. So why should we trust them? Yeah, they've got their reasons. Then you've got Vanguard, BlackRock. Do you trust them? No. Bill Gates, Microsoft, right? Trying to do like lab grown meat. It's a lot bigger. There's lots of things that all interconnect. Should we trust these people? No. Go back to the old ways and buy from local people. This is why they're trying to destroy farming and local shops and try and outprice lots of people. Now, if we do it right, go back the old ways, shop properly, shop locally, with money, not with cards, with money. Get your money out the bank, out the cash points. You might find it staves off these controlling functions that they're putting in place. They've got them in place already, but we can still rebel. We can still say no. We can still do anything we can. Yeah. Shop locally, pay by cash, don't pay by card. Never pay by card. Don't use these big ones. Don't use Amazons and Temus and all this for all the cheap rubbish, because that's just working against us in the long run, because that's what they want. They want to control us. So if we have to buy through them, they can shut it off. They can do the carbon credits and whatever. Oh, you bought too much this month, you can't have that. You buy too much meat. Oh no, you've had too much. That can't have that. Oh, but you can have this lab-grown meat. No, I don't want the lab-grown meat. I want real meat. I don't want fake veg, fake food. I want real food made by real people. Yeah, do things in your garden. Yeah, make your own foods. Do a little plot. Do something. Make a difference to your life and your family's lives. Yeah, stop relying on the system that doesn't care for you. We know the system doesn't work for us. It doesn't care about our kids. Right. We finally had a little bit of a breakthrough at Bow School as well, so that's a little bit better. We had an issue there a little while back. We didn't go to the school. We wanted to see how it played out. But quite early on when he was there, They had Men's Mental Health Week, and I've said this before. Um, and then they had Pride Month before that. Right now, they had all the flags up for Pride Month, but Men's Mental Health, they didn't put any of them up, and they replaced them with pride flags to carry on. Um, Bo got quite upset about that because no understanding that men have quite a high suicide rate, yeah, was taken over by other people. Yeah, it was wrong, and he got upset. But now, his school were teaching him that it's okay to be a male, and it's masculine male. You're not misogynistic just because you're a masculine male. So there seems to be a cultural shift within the school, which is fascinating. It's fabulous because masculine men are needed in this world, because masculine men protect their ladies, their children. They do. That's just what they do. Yeah. And they also hold decent values. Like my kids, they play rugby, they hold decent values. They wouldn't harm a soul, right? And they're the kindest, sweetest kids you'll find, right? And our schools always say, well done, they're fabulous, they're this. That's not through the teaching of the government. That's through us as parents teaching them the right things to do. We don't let them have a label, right, of autistic, ADHD. They know they've got issues. We know we've got issues, yeah? But we don't give them that label. Don't do that, because that's where you crucify your own child by falling into the trap of going, oh, he's got ADHD, he's autistic. Well, Bo he is diagnosed ASD, but you wouldn't know that because we've raised him right. We haven't allowed him to go, oh, I'm autistic, so I'll get away with it. No, 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 no. We dealt with him. All right, it was a bit of a battle. We tested him, we pushed his boundaries, we set new rules, we set boundaries for him, and now he can function because he's resilient to life. He understands how to cope when he's struggling. Now, if we hadn't pushed him that way, he wouldn't have learnt that. And there's lots of parents out there that have not taught that. But that's a little rant off subject. But getting back to Disclosure Day, please watch it. Put a comment on, yeah, if you believe there's more to just this film than aliens. If you believe it's a subconscious message of other things, yeah, like in Revelations, we need to be careful what we listen to false prophets, etc. Is it trying to lead us down a path we shouldn't follow? Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah. Why are we getting all this disclosure, right, of UAPs? Yeah. They don't tell us things if they don't want us to know, do they? Yeah. But they're not telling us everything, are they? They just drip feed little things to make you think they're telling you. But they're not. It's all control. Yeah. But that's my thoughts anyway, guys. But I will say, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the film. It was quite good. All right. If you're just looking at it as a film, all right, don't expect to be seeing all this stuff about disclosure and everything and all that. There were some interesting bits to it, and there were some fascinating takes on certain things. And when you look at the UAP stuff, you can see how it interlinks. Yeah, but Jesse Michels' podcast was very good, the American Alchemy, because that actually he broke it down quite well for that. Yeah, but I think there's more to it myself. But guys, thank you again for watching. In this heat, stay hydrated. Yeah, be smart, right? Because we need to, right? Because you'll get fatigued, you'll be worn out. Stay hydrated, stay as cool as you can. Get some ice, put it around. Yeah, get some frozen bottles, attach them to your fan just to blow cold air around. Yeah, it'll help. Yeah, but guys, stay safe, be kind, be smart, be open, be fast. Balance eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Right, love you all. See you, my little burgers. Oosh.